Alright, so today I'm going to show you how to do an oil change on your Ford Fiesta. This will be the same for 2011 to 2019 Ford Fiesta base model with the 1.6 liter engine, as well as the 2014-2019 Fiesta ST with the 1.6 liter EcoBoost engine. Alright, so from up at the top we have the oil fill hole, as well as engine oil dipstick. The oil filter on this one is actually down in there, easily accessed from underneath the car. Do that at the same time you're doing the drain plug. Alright, so first underneath we're undoing the engine oil drain plug. This one is a 14 millimeter, but it is also a aftermarket drain plug that we got from Whoosh Motorsports. It's magnetic as well, which I will show you. You can see Whoosh Motorsports has the magnet on it. Thankfully, there's nothing on there, but it would be a good telltale sign if you ever were to start having any internal engine failures. You were to see it on this first. Alright, so put our drain plug back in. To go too tight on your drain plug. You don't want to strip it out. Next we're going to be doing the oil filter. On these ones it's kind of tight in there, especially because of the water cooled oil cooler. So when you get that off, you got to kind of wiggle the filter out to get a little bit, so you will get some a lot of runoff there from the engine oil. So that's one of the best parts to have. Definitely have a can of brake clean handy to get that all cleaned up afterwards, so you don't have a nasty mess waiting for you. Having a set of these filter pliers is amazing as well, because it's really hard to get your hand in there if you have larger hands like I do. You can get these filter pliers pretty much anywhere. I got those ones at Harbor Freight. I just like to crack that filter loose a little bit and let it drain out a little bit. Make it not quite as much of a mess when you go to work it out of there. And get it and point the open side of the filter up. And then you can slide the back of it down in between the cooler lines and the AC hose. The radiator hose as well. There we go. You can just drain that out right there. Alright, another thing that I like to do on all my oil filters that are spin-on style, you don't have to, it's just my preference, is I like to actually pre-fill oil filter a little bit. What that does is help keep it from dry starting once you actually start it up after doing the oil change, because before any of the engine components can actually get oil pressure, it has to fill up this oil filter first. The filters actually absorb quite a bit of oil. I just want to lube up the oil filter O-ring as well, keep it from binding up, make it easier to install, and also make it easier to remove later. Always double check, make sure you didn't leave the old oil seal on the filter housing. Sometimes they'll dry up and stick on there. You got a double gasketing issue, so once you start it up afterwards, it'll actually blow oil out between the old seal and the new seal. You can see this one has a seal on it still, so we're good. I always like to use, I prefer to use the factory oil filters, the Motorcraft filter, which is a FL910. When I can't get one of those, I'll use a Mobil One filter. The only other ones I really choose to use. This one is a M1 102A. One of the nice things about the Mobil One filters is if you choose to, depending on your service intervals, you can actually use them through 2 oil changes. These ones are supposedly guaranteed for at least 12,000 miles. I always change my oil, even though I use synthetic. I run my car kind of hard, so I always change it at 3,000 mile intervals. So you can use these for 2 oil changes if you choose to. You don't have to. But helps absorb some of the cost because the Mobil One filter is more than double the price of a Motorcraft filter. Motorcraft filter is about the best you can get for cost and effectiveness, because those ones already have the built-in oil drain back valves and everything. A lot of the other cheaper ones don't have that. So I always recommend at least using a Ford filter on your car, but that is all at your preference. Tighten that up, just get it hand tight, you don't have to go too crazy. Then we're going to clean all this off with some brake clean. Sure we clean up all any of that residual oil, and also keeping oil off of any of these hoses as well, because rubber hoses don't appreciate being saturated with oil. Done with this portion of it. Got our filter back on, nice and snug. Got our drain plug tightened up. Let's go up to the top and get it filled back up. In ours, I choose to run a Mobil One 530 synthetic engine oil. The engine oil specifications for these cars is 520 or 530. I choose 530. I'm in a little bit hotter climate, as well as I run my car a little bit harder than maybe some others would. Some people, especially when going with different turbochargers or different tuning, they'll opt to run either a 540 or even up to a 1030. That is entirely up to you. I always use about 4 3/4 quarts, so just under 5 quarts on this. We'll always want to check the stick on yours to make sure that's at a good level for your exact car and to your standards. Give it a quick start and make sure there's no leaks. Move up here. No leaks underneath. No leaks in the filter. Alright guys, that is it. Thanks for watching.